Watch and burn.
Hey everyone. So tonight I wanted to discuss the deluxe edition of Taylor Swift's 1989. This was released, I think this was released back in 2012. I think that's when it came out. It was, no, wait, this was released in 2014. Because I know it was released right around the time that the Aphex Twin had released Cyro, give or take. Assuming that's even correct, and if it isn't, the text has come up and it has since corrected me. But I think it was around the same time because I remember I was really excited about both of them coming out. Well, anyways, yeah, I wanted to talk about the deluxe edition of 1989 mainly because it comes with the series of Polaroids that, although on one hand I think they're really awesome and I like how they have handwritten parts of her lyrics from the songs that are on the album, there is this sort of like real like 1980s vibe to them because I like how blurry they are and I like how she's dressed and everything feels really complete. But at the same time, I could argue that those Polaroids are sort of misleading because, you know, some kid out there is going to be like, oh my God, me and Taylor are totally soulmates because, you know, she gave these to me. Like I most likely would have done had I been 8 and bought this record. I would have been like, oh my God, Taylor gave me some of her personal photos. And I totally would have bought into that. So I think that's kind of sad. And I also think that there's a creepy aspect to them as well because some fucking pervert could, you know, oh, me and Taylor, we're betrothed now. But the other thing that's interesting about these is I think I have 53 to 65. Now I don't know overall how many of these were released, but I've seen pictures online that I don't have amongst the handful that I got with the deluxe edition that I bought back when it came out. So I don't know if it goes to 65 and there's like 2 sets of these. You know, like, so there's, 2 sets. So there's 60 of these where every so often each set of records gets, 10 here, 10 there, adding up to 60, or maybe there's 100 of them. I don't really know, but they are numbered on the back, and so that leads me to think that there's a purpose to them somehow. If there was, I don't exactly know what it could have been. Maybe you were supposed to buy every edition you could possibly find because, no, that doesn't make sense. That can't be why. They're numbered for a reason. I've never been able to really put it together. I don't know how many there are. I've never known how many there are. I don't like looking this stuff up online too because I like to try and leave it more as a mystery. I find it more fun that way. But yeah, I guess I should probably stop talking about the Polaroids that come with the record and start talking about the record. I love this record. 1989 is when she like fully embraced her pop change. Now, I know you could argue that that happened on Red technically, but I don't love Red, and I found that this is when she cranked it up to 10 because, considering that this is the deluxe edition, you have Wonderland's on here, New Romantics is on here, which is quite possibly my favorite song on the record. I love the fact that deluxe editions usually come with extra songs that you otherwise wouldn't find on the standard releases. And in this case, Wonderland and New Romantics are 2 of my favorite Taylor Swift songs ever. So that's awesome. Because when you buy the standard edition, there's nothing wrong with that. And then actually, sometimes when you buy the standard edition and then time goes by and you pick up the deluxe edition cheap somewhere and you're like, oh my God, there's extra songs on here. This is amazing. And then you find that those songs were like absolutely killer. Like as in this case, for me, that my 2 favorites were Wonderland and New Romantics. It's so like energizing. Like you already loved the record. And then when you found the deluxe edition a ways later, you love it even more because there's even more songs on there that you didn't know existed that you ended up loving again. So the record sort of becomes new all over again. It's like you're buying it for the first time. And I do love that. And Wildest Dreams is on this album. I love that song. The one thing about Wildest Dreams, it's sort of weird though. Whenever I listen to Wildest Dreams, I keep picturing the color scheme from Lover. And I didn't love Lover, but there's something about the colors that come to mind that Wildest Dreams sort of conjure up in my head that make me think of the album Lover, that of course wouldn't be for a couple more albums at this point, so there's no way that they could know of each other's existence at this point. But God, I love Wildest Dreams. That's like one of the best songs she's ever written. I love that song so much. And this record, the Welcome to New York's on here. I Know Places is on here. Like I said, the Wonderland and New Romantics are on here. I love those songs. New Romantics, I wonder if the title is sort of like a nod to the New Romantic movement of the early 80s, like the whole like cult without a name thing, like the Spandau Ballet and like the culture club thing that they had going early on where Boy George was a big part of it. I don't know if that's what she was nodding to. In a lot of ways, you can't really argue against. There's no way that she wasn't. She had to be, sorry, because like it's New Romantics, and really there's only really, when you use that term, when you put those two words together, it really only signifies one thing in pop history, and that is the New Romantic movement of the early 80s with, like I said, bands like Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet. And this record is all about the 80s, and this record is so 80s. It has a modern production, of course, but as far as everything else, this record sounds like the 80s. And of course, this is Taylor Swift's birth year. This is 1989, hence the title of the record, because I'm really clever for like figuring that one out, because I'm the only person in the world who's done that, right? But anyways, I love this record because, like I said, Shake It Off is on here, and if you don't like Shake It Off, you probably don't like music, because that's like one of the best songs ever. I don't care how many times I hear it. I don't care how many times I'm at like Walmart or something and that song comes on. I just feel like dancing, and I love that song so much. It just makes me so happy. But anyways, this record is when she fully embraced the pop change. Like I said, I mean, I know technically it happened an album back, because I never really liked her country. I always found her voice to be sort of thin sounding, and I feel like her shifting into more mainstream pop fit her better, and it sort of like matched her personality, and it felt more natural, I suppose. Because with her country albums, I didn't like Taylor Swift at all. Now, I don't love country to begin with, but I really didn't like her country. And then when I heard she was transitioning to pop, I didn't actually think much of it, because I figured it would still be sort of like country tinged. And boy, was I wrong. Because, I mean, Red is great. Like, I like Red, but personally, it's never really been my record of choice. Mind you, The Moment I Knew is on there, and that's like one of my favorite songs from her ever. But it's this record forward, this record into Reputation, and then Lover, and then into her like much more mature folk phase that she's currently in now. Taylor Swift is on this sort of like, she's so upwardly mobile at this point that I don't think there's any slowing her down. Even though I didn't love Lover, and I'm going to be talking about Lover today. Now, whether or not it comes out in any sort of order, I doubt. But yes, I didn't love Lover. It had its moments. But we're not talking about Lover. We're talking about 1989. And I think, yeah, this is going on 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop now. So yes, this is one of the best records I've ever heard, period. This is so catchy. It's so fun. The production is tight. The hooks are massive. Everything about this record just screams love me. And I do. And I know I'm not the only person in the world who feels this way. Taylor Swift is amazing, and she seems to only be getting better, with the slight misstep on Lover, of course. I just didn't love that record. Wow. Wasn't that clever? See what I did there? But anyways, doesn't matter. I'm going to go. So thank you so much for sitting with me while I discuss Taylor Swift's 1989, the deluxe edition that came with all these Polaroids. And thank you so much. And if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. And have a good night. And I will see you guys soon. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe. And we will see you guys really soon.